Imparted delight. What the heck does imparted delight have to do with being happy every day? Today is day 31 of Happy Every Day. And I committed to myself this year that I was going to find ways to make myself a little bit happier and to really focus on happiness and the things that I want in my life. And I ran across this little book at the cabin called Do One Thing a Day That Makes You Happy. And I committed to myself that I'm going to every day share with you whatever the next page is in this book, whatever the next challenge is, whatever the next lesson is, whatever the next activity is, to help you to be more happy too. Now, I know I'm committed to being happy every day, and I'm looking for more and more things to make me happy. And I want to challenge you to do the same thing. We get what we expect out of life. We see what we want to see. And this saying's a little bit about that today. Today is a 2-day blank line, and I used to really dread these. Last year I did a do one thing a day that scares me to stretch my comfort zone, and I used to get to these blank line days and I wasn't reading the saying next to it. So I was like, okay, it would say like one sentence, like for example, it says today, how I imparted my delight today. Or it would say, sorry about that, I'm way behind schedule today. Or it would say something about, you know, just a line like that. And you'd have to say, okay, well, what does that mean to me? I don't even know what that means. So I would have to think about, all right, what does that mean? Well, then I realized it's like at the very end of the year that this saying goes along with these two and asks you to spend 2 days to spend time being more specific about something that the saying says. Now, the saying is, same as yesterday, no pleasure is fully delightsome without communication, and no delight absolute except imparted. Now, I'm going to make a confession. I actually Googled on my phone and asked, what do you mean by imparted? Because I wanted to make sure I was clear. I thought I knew what it meant, but I wanted to make sure I was clear about what imparted means. And what Google told me was that it means to make known or communicate, which is basically saying that if we experience delight and joy and happiness in our life, it's not as enjoyable. We don't get as much out of it, the feeling, unless we communicate it, unless we let ourselves, number one, and other people, number two, know that in some way, shape, or form, we're happy about it. We're delighted. We're enjoying the happiness that we're experiencing. We're actually having positive feelings about the feeling that we're having. So I just started brainstorming, you know, how do I impart or how do I communicate with myself, number one, because we need to acknowledge it with ourselves, and then other people that I am really excited or delighted or glad or happy or joyful about a particular event or circumstance or thing or feeling or experience, whatever. And I just wrote down a bunch of things like show enthusiasm. And that reminded me to reshoot the videos for a women's summit that I'm doing, because I've just done them on the fly because I committed to myself that I would just get it done and get it out this week. And now I'm going to go back and make continuous improvements on that particular project. But I wrote down, let people know, share, give, call out, express, pay attention to, recognize, acknowledge. All of those are things that remind me to communicate the joy and the happiness and the love that I'm feeling. Because guess what? Then I don't feel it all by myself. I get to share that feeling with other people. And I think that's the real power and the real delight in anything, especially our happiness and our joy, is the wisdom to share it with other people and to spread that. You know, viruses spread like wildfire. How about if we spread happiness and joy and love and appreciation and gratitude like wildfire and see what kind of an impact it makes on first your life and then the lives of the people around you and on the world, because we each have that capability. We each have that ability to impact ourself, and with ourself, we have everything we need within us already to impact the rest of the world. So you want to impact the world in a positive way, or you want to impact the world in a negative way? I say, let's all work together to be a little bit happier every day, because that will spread out in the world. It will have a ripple effect. That's it. I know what imparted means, and so I'm going to go and impart some joy on a lot of people, starting with myself and my family. Go out and make it a fantastic day. Be happy. You got this. Bye. I will, of course, be with you tomorrow.